So we'll start by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap right over left with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure that we let in enough light to remain alert. Try to avoid slouching or leaning. We also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position. And cultivate a sense of letting go of attending to the environment, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are without investigation, pulling back our awareness from the outside world and constraining it just to the body and mind. Concentrating that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air moving into and back out of the tip of the nostrils. Noticing quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and without judgment or frustration, lifting your awareness up from that distraction and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then generate a broad and altruistic motivation for your time, intentionally widening your circle of concern, embracing as many sentient beings as possible, generating the wish to be of benefit. And recognizing that engaging in genuine inner transformation is the best method to genuinely, spontaneously be of benefit to countless sentient beings. Establishing and deepening beneficial ways of thinking and acting, and reducing the habits and the tendencies that are not beneficial, those that agitate and disturb one's own mind and often give rise to actions that cause harm. Thinking this is how we're able to be of greater and greater benefit to sentient beings. And then we will engage in a contemplation on the first noble truth, the truth of unsatisfactory conditions, in order to clearly identify what it is that we ought to make effort to overcome, to generate a base level of motivation to move out of dissatisfaction and confusion. So we can look at the first noble truth, the truth of suffering or true suffering, in three categories, three ways in which the lives of ordinary sentient beings are conditioned by dissatisfaction and difficulty. So the first is the suffering of pain. And here we include any overt physical or mental distress or unwanted experience. So try to contemplate in a way that won't be too disturbing. Contemplate the arising of this in your life and in the lives of others. We can recognize that as part of our everyday experience, we are rarely without aches or pains in the body. The arising of unpleasantness of hot and cold, hunger and thirst, depression, anxiety, fatigue. We've also likely experienced loss and grief. And day by day, we are increasingly experiencing the suffering of aging. And that impermanent nature of the body will inevitably end in the separation of this body and this mind in death. So try to get in touch with how this is the existential condition of all sentient beings, all ordinary sentient beings. Meeting with what one does not want, being separated from what one does want, experiencing illness and loss, Try to expand your thoughts out to your friends and loved ones, strangers, and even those that we normally react only with aversion toward. And see how each of them is constantly, just like oneself, confronted by the suffering of pain. And then on a subtler level, our lives are also conditioned by the suffering of change. Unlike the suffering of pain, these experiences are what ordinarily we think of as happiness. Eating our favorite food, watching a good movie, going to the beach or a museum or reading a good book, going shopping, whatever it is that we identify personally as a pleasurable, enjoyable experience. And can recognize that these activities are never truly satisfying. We repeat them again and again because any enjoyment is fleeting. And that temporary sensory enjoyment is not in the nature of happiness. If it were, then the more we read the same book or ate the same food, watched the same movie, the happier and happier we would be. But we know that the opposite occurs. These experiences temporarily distract us from boredom, loneliness, but as we engage with the object, the suffering incumbent in the object becomes more and more noticeable. The object arises with its own dissatisfaction, which manifests at some point if we continue to engage with the object. So look back in your own life and see if that's true. Is there real, genuine, permanent, lasting happiness that can be found in activities outside of oneself? Or is that just temporary, fleeting, and ultimately unsatisfactory? And then the subtlest level of unsatisfactoriness is all pervading suffering. The understanding that no matter where we take birth in ordinary existence, if we have a body and mind conditioned by karma and delusion, then that incarnation will necessarily be marked with the suffering of pain and the suffering of change. We both inherit in every moment the karma of past actions done under the influence of delusion. And being an ordinary sentient being, in every moment we create new karma under the influence of delusion, sowing the seeds of future unsatisfactory experiences. But this, although it is our present moment experience, is not hopeless. We can cultivate the wisdom that sees through delusion and put an end to this cycle of suffering. So generate in your mind a strong wish in confronting honestly the arising of suffering in your life, a strong wish to be separated from it, and the strong determination to create the causes to be separated from it completely. And when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation and think that having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, created positive energy in the mind, which you freely offer for the benefit of all sentient beings, without exception, thinking may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and rise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment in order to work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you